Whatever, everybody, it's your boy Joshua Wasaki back with another video. You know it. Okay, so today's video is going to be I'm gonna do maybe 2 videos. I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay, if I feel like up to the second video. But today's first video is gonna be a personal experience of mine with the paranormal, and it happened when I was 11 years old. When I was 11 years old, I had just had my sister. My sister was just born. Okay, those of you who met her in one of the episodes, she was just born. When my sister was born, my grandmother Bubby, who is now sadly just passed away last April. She passed away due to malpractice in a hospital. I'm not gonna go into that because I don't feel like it. Okay, not that I just don't. It's not that I don't. I'm not careless. I just don't feel like going into it. She stayed with my mom while my mom was busy, and my dad used to work a lot. So around this time, he worked for the Chicago Board of Trade, which is like a stockbroking firm. So he was gone until like 11 o'clock at night. He got off around 9, but he used to go to a bar called Gale Street to hang out with his friends for a little bit afterwards, and then he would come home. So this was one night around 10 o'clock, maybe 11, and my mom was out with a friend. My sister was asleep, and my brother was asleep, and my bubby was sleeping on the couch. And was watching a movie in the family room while my brother Bubby was sleeping. I hear a knock at the door. I'm not shitting you. When I said my Bubby was a silent sleeper, I mean it. She was a silent sleeper. There was barely anything that could wake her up. There were some things like loud noises, but the knock was very noticeable, but not enough for me to hear it. Not for her to hear it. Then again, she was losing her hearing in one of the ears, so I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons why she couldn't hear it. So I get a knock at the door, and the story is going to be about black-eyed children because I've had the experience with one, and let me tell you, if you haven't had experience with black-eyed children, I envy you because it's the most terrifying experience you will ever have in your entire life if you ever had one. I had one as a kid, which is saying it in itself. But there are adults that have said that they have never been more terrified in their life when they had this experience. Sorry. So I had a better, I guess, not a better grasp, but anyways, I go go to the door. I peer out, little people we had, and I see 2 kids. One looks about to be 14 or 15. One looks about to be 9 or 10, around my age. Okay, and I opened the door, and the way my door was set up is there was 2 doors actually in the front door. There was the big door, and then there was a screen door that we had to open up. Okay, so I opened up the big door, and the alarm wasn't on it yet because my mom usually waited till everyone was home to put the alarm on. Okay. Now in our old house, she just locks the door until my dad gets home from work. Anyways, our new house, I mean. And so anyways, like I was saying, so I opened the door, and the kid asked me, "Hello, sir. We don't know where we are, and we need to call our mom so she could pick us up when we come inside and use your phone." The tall one was asking all the questions. The little one, the 10-year-old one, was just looking around, like seeing like if everything was going okay. He was like the nervous out. I think he was the more nervous of the 3. And he says to me, and I'm like, "No, I'm sorry, I can't let you in. The only parental figure I have in my house right now is asleep, and I don't think she would like me letting a total stranger in." And then they said they came again, and it's like they didn't accept the word no. For me, I hate when people don't accept the word no. The answer is, if you say no to someone, it should be no, leave me alone. Don't ask 1,000 more times. But this kid wouldn't accept it. I know this is probably you say, "Oh, this is part of the experience." I know, or what you have to deal with. I know that, but okay. Anyways, so I said to him, "Okay, here we go." So he says, "Sir, can we come in?" He said, "No, you cannot. I don't think." And again, before I did anything, I felt like I had to help him in some way, but I knew my Bubby would yell at me if I did. word of advice: if you have a Jewish grandmother or mother, do not piss them off. They can be really mean if they get pissed off. Because I am Jewish and they can get really mean. Okay. Um, I think one time my Bobby made me share a cry because she said something really mean to me. Well, not mean, but she yelled, and when my Bobby yells, it's you can hear it. Um, she so I was my unconsciously I'm like, no, you can't come in. But when I looked down at my hand was reaching for the other handle to the screen door, and I basically grabbed it back. And the kid, I guess the older one, started to sense that I was feeling what I was feeling. Like, says, "Come on, sir, we don't have a weapon, or we don't have a gun or something." I think he said we don't have a gun. I don't remember exactly what he said. I think he said we don't have a gun. And in my mind, I'm like, it's like he's like he's saying. And another guy who said the same thing in another experience. In my mind, it's like he's saying, "Mister, we don't need a gun." So I'm sitting there. I'm like, this is not gonna happen. I'm not gonna let them in. And then and this is the scariest part of for me. Okay. He bangs on the screen door with the other kid, and he says, "Mister, we can't come in unless you say it's okay. Mister, we can't come in unless you say it's okay." He says it twice, but in a really mean voice. Okay? And then he removes his hood, and he shows me the black eyes. Now, I'm telling you this, I probably have the most comedic saying no I've ever heard in my life, and I can't believe I said this to this creature in my life. I bet you $5 this creature must have been walking away laughing at me because for what I said, okay? And I'll tell you what I had to say. And I was being honest with the creature. I was telling the creature what was actually going on. I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom, and I closed the door and locked it. Okay? And I locked it. I'm being serious. I said I have to go to the bathroom. I closed the door and locked it. And my Bubby woke up from when I closed the door and slammed it, and she's like, "What were you doing?" And I'm like, "You wouldn't believe me if I told you." She's like, "Okay." And she fell asleep. Back to sleep. And I basically sat there and I grabbed like one of my favorite foods or snack foods and sat and looked at the door because how my house was set up in my old home house in Chicago was when you walked in, there was like a little small family living room with no TV, okay? Then there was one. Then when you kept going, there would be the kitchen, and then there would be the stairs right next to the kitchen, and there would be a door to the garage. And then there'd be a back door, and then there'd be the front door back door next to the kitchen, and then right before the kitchen, you could see into the family room, which we had a TV in. Now, from when I was growing up, I mainly stayed in the family room or in my room or in the kitchen. I like to be in the kitchen. I like food, okay? Look at me. I'm fat, but I like food. Everyone likes food. Anyways, so I basically sat in the family room for about 20 minutes, keep staring at the outdoor and making sure like I locked it, and eating my comfort food, saying, and I'm kind of thinking in my head, okay, I did good. When I did let them in, I'm good. Just one thing in my head that says, don't tell mom, because she's gonna freak. And because, first of all, the reason why I think she was gonna freak is because she just had my sister, and here I am, 10 years old, or 11 years old, and answering a door at 10 o'clock p.m. in the middle of the night, and who happens to be behind the door? Two kids with black eyes. My mom would not like that. My mom was very, very afraid of the supernatural, paranormal. Very, very afraid of it. But, she can't handle a horror movie. No, she can't handle horror movies, but my dad can, but he doesn't like watching them. For example, my mom hates the paranormal stuff. She can't stand it. She'll watch the shows with me. If I'm watching a show and my dad's watching the same show, she'll sit down and watch it because there's more in her mind. There's safety in numbers, okay, which is actually true. There is safety in numbers. But I'm not so sure that's if it's for paranormal situations. But for another thing is like I said, she doesn't deal with paranormal that well. She hates paranormal stuff. So overall, my experience has haunted me for not haunting me. I didn't get any nightmares from that experience, but I just was very shocked and shooken for at least a day or two. And I really didn't want to tell my friends at school because I didn't think they would believe me, and I didn't think my parents would believe me. So I haven't told them at all what happened. That one, okay. The only person that knows is my uncle and my best friend in the whole entire world, because I told him one time when we were having a sleepover at my house, and I told them, okay, because I felt like I should have told somebody already. And basically, that's my experience. As with the black eyed children. Now I know my comedic ending isn't really funny now, but when I thought it was kind of funny. Now that I think about it, that I screamed out, I had to go to the bathroom, and I closed the door. I'm honestly, God, I'm thinking that kid that with those two black kids were laughing at me while they were walking away and wherever, because someone just screamed out, I have to go to the bathroom, and they closed the door. Okay, like I said, hit me up with a like, subscribe, comment if you like this video. Please tell me if you had a black-eyed children experience, because I would really like to know. P.S. If you don't know, a recent event happened in California where two black-eyed children were arrested, and when I found out, I did like a small dance because I'm happy as fuck because they finally caught two of these kids, and now we can figure out what's going on with these fucking motherfuckers. Sorry for my language, but seriously, they can figure out what the fuck's going on with these kids. Stay cool. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you've had a black-eyed children experience in your life ever, or when you were a kid, or when you were an adult, or right now if you ever had one earlier in the year. Just let me know in the comments below, and stay cool. Subscribe. That's it, guys.